exactly, and that's what I was going to say. The weather can blow in and blow out so quickly that you think that you've maybe had the opposite of the rub of the green. You know, you've had it against you. We can see here they're all having to face it, but that's the difference between rallying and racing. You don't know what the other person's experience is, because obviously you have a time delay. You can't see where the competition are against you. You just have to drive to the best of your ability in the conditions you are faced with.
I've got a nasty feeling that this one might be pulled if this fog gets any worse, and we'll see. So far they're getting themselves through it. There is Brian's time. Now then, this looks very good indeed, and in fact he's split the local drivers here, the Portuguese. He's the best of the non-Portuguese drivers so far. Breen and Nagel giving away 31 seconds though to Sousa. Goodness me, this is going to be an interesting conversation as we dip down.
Craig, third quickest through the stage, and the conditions are getting worse. 31 seconds down. I mean, that's down to fog.
I can't explain that. That is absolute. You think GB is bad? You really think that Wales is bad? Go in there and try and drive with the volcano on the side. Very difficult for me. My confidence is still coming step by step with these rallies, so for me to drive flat out, it's very difficult. But for me, I had zero visibility in places.
Here you go. Oh, zero visibility in places with a volcano to think about as well. On board with Kubica, and it almost looks like a Sunday afternoon in certain places here. He is taking so much care, doesn't want to throw this away, of course. And in fact, as our leader coming into this one, he knows that others are going to have equal problems. I suspect Jan Kopecki may well cope better. We shall see. Kubica has probably got another 6 minutes left of this run, or 5, I should say. We'll see. But I think he may well be giving away a whole load of time on this.
It looks like that. The only difference is you get a lot less noise from these cars. Remember, he's driving a turbocharged car. The only other person on the rally is Sousa, who's driving an RRC car, which is different to the Super 2000s. The Super 2000's been naturally aspirated, and when you stand on the throttle, you get a lot of bark and a lot of noise in the car. It'll be interesting, but it does look like he's losing time. But Sousa, again, to repeat myself, he thought he'd lost a lot of time, and lo and behold, he's still quickest, isn't he?
On board with Kubica and Kopecki approaching here. Now, the time 18:29 for Sousa through here, let's not forget. Check that out, 36.8. Craig Breen also eating into that time as well then. So Kopecki sheds 36.8 to the quickest man through here so far. Kubica's on course. Kopecki, well, he's always talking about the fact that he's still learning gravel. I'll tell you something though, he's always great value, and he'll have a smile on his face no matter what. Here he comes.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of damage on the car, a bit of a puncture on the other side. You've had some moments in there.
Yeah, I have a big problem because, you know, my intercom is not working, and I can hear the Pavel, but I cannot change the notes at all, and if he's a little bit late, I cannot tell him. So it was a very, very big problem for us, and it was heavy fog, and one left fish tight, and there was so much mud. I just came in and understeered and hit the bank. Big hit, so we are happy that we are here.
There we are. It's interesting actually, just to hear about the interchange. That's absolutely vital. You have to be able to tell your co-driver to slow down occasionally, because sometimes he's looking at notes while you're looking at the road.
That is a little bit of a nightmare situation, to be honest. I mean, let alone having these conditions to be faced with. When you lose your co-drivers, well, he hadn't lost his co-driver's instruction, but he was trying to change notes, and he lost the rhythm by the sounds of it. It's very easy to lose the rhythm in this, and you'll often hear the driver saying to the co-driver, yeah, go, or to speed up, or to slow down. And if you don't have that control, it's very easy for the co-driver to get lost off, because obviously he's looking down all the time. He's not looking at the road, and he's doing it by feel. Has a knock-on effect, because obviously you're not driving smoothly because you can't see the road the whole time. So you're moving the car almost unnaturally. It's very easy to lose the rhythm between yourself and the co-driver, so not an ideal situation for Jan.
The voice of Guy Wilkes. The loss of Guy out there in competition is our gain. It's a joy to have him here on Eurosport with the European Rally Championship. A joy as well to be on board with the likes of Kubica. Here he is. You know, this is going to be huge. I'm looking forward to this. We may have a change at the top. Kopecki finished 5th quickest behind Sousa, but the target time for Kubica, let's not forget, is 19.06. If you add, what was it, 4.9 seconds separating them on last time by, so he's got to come in essentially under 19.10 if he's going to stay in the lead of this rally. So there is the clock rolling for you.
This is a really tricky bit down towards the end. A lot of surface changes and starts to speed up. Very fast descent in a second. This corner he's coming to now is very tricky.
Well, handles it well, but not at full speed. Alcian's time into the 20s. 18's good, 19's better. 19's, I should say, not so bad. But in the 20s, that is a wounding zone. Alcian comes in. Valentijn did a 20.15. We'll see what Kubica does. We've lost his clock just for the time being. Let's just have a quick word with Alcian. Yeah, he looks absolutely dazed, frankly.
I don't think he knows what he's just done.
No. Well, we do, and it's been tough here.
It was very hard because there was a lot of fog on the road, a lot of water, not easy for me.
Simple as that. It's going to be the same story for everybody. Kubica, who's not overly comfortable in wrecking this stage. Well, we've heard from Valentijn earlier on that Notes may as well just get binned anyway.
He's already 30 seconds slower than Sousa now, so we know he's lost big time. It's just how much time he's going to lose.
Well, we said, and we've just passed it, 19.10 was his target time if he was going to keep this lead ahead of Jan Kopecky. So change at the top here.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him trying to come back from it, but it just sounds to me from the engine note more than anything. Obviously, I can't understand the Polish pace notes and difficult to hear them anyway. Just struggling with the pace notes and to really read the road.
Well, if you had a road to read, that would help, frankly. Yes. More than tough today. This is our opening salvo, don't forget. We'll be back after a hiatus of around about 90 minutes before we're back with the Sedisidaris. That's our office time, I beg your pardon. I'll give you a time check in just a few moments' time, so you'll know exactly when to come back to us this evening. But yes, it is our first look live here at the Azores, and that looked like lightning. I don't know whether it was a struggling flare on the camera here, but it wouldn't surprise me. Oh, and this is nightmare. It's into the 20s now for Kubica.
He's back at the tarmac. He's not far from the finish, so he's just got to get there as quickly as he can. Here he is.
Goodness gracious me, 1 minute 46, and as far as we know, he didn't have an issue. The only thing was, it was hell. Yes, amazing. So here he is. Not used to seeing this machine so far down the order.
Don't look to be any punches.
He's dazed.
Robert, a huge amount of time lost in there. You're going to tell me that's down to the weather, I think.
It was very difficult stage. We couldn't see anything in the places, and well, for 80% of the stage I was just cruising to the finish, and yeah, no confidence with pace notes when you see, like here, I don't know what is 10-20 meters. Yeah, we just happy to be here, and it was hard lesson, but it was good to do this stage, but it's very, very, very dangerous.
You talk about challenges in your life. Was that the biggest challenge you've had so far?
It depends. Definitely, it was the biggest challenge because driving a rally car, you know, you should push, but I think I did right choice to not push and just to finish this stage.
Well, there you are. Lessons learned in Canarias, perhaps.
I think at a good guess, I think he's going to have a bigger challenge in his life coming up next. The next time he does that and we're commentating, the weather won't get much better.
Goodness gracious me. Well, I've got to tell you, in terms of translation of how that pans out, he is now in 6th place, 1 minute and 4 behind our leader, Kopecky. I hope our maths was correct as we went through. We have loved this so far today. The helicopter has found a break in the clouds, but this is how stage 8 went. Kubica, 9th and that's only so far, let's not forget. There may be some drivers who come through quicker than that, pushing him further down the order, but he looks solidly in 6th place. Ancien also having a nightmare. Vollenwijn in 8th. Kopecky moves up. Craig Breen and Paul Nagel are in 2nd place, incidentally, after their run. 3rd quickest. Megalesh had earlier issues sorted out. The setup of the vehicle, finished 2nd place here. That looked pretty good. Sousa taking the stage so far, unless somebody can do something extraordinarily dramatic. Still to come. Well, baptism of fire or water, I'm not quite sure, but Guy Wilkes, I've enjoyed it. So have you?
It's been entertaining, definitely. I mean, it's the start of the stage, as you can see, was much clearer than the end, but the fog, I've been on that rally myself, it gets a lot worse than that. So hopefully we can see. I don't want it to get worse because we'll have less to talk about, but hopefully the visibility gets a bit better for the second run.
Well, it looks like brightness is actually coming in off the Atlantic right now. It is an occluded front, I might add. You can see from the waves here, it's reasonably benign. But here we are. Sousa ahead of Megalesh, Breen, Mora and Kopecky. That is how this stage finished. But I've got to tell you that Kopecky is our leader, courtesy of the work that he has done earlier on. There's Kubica's stage time, but I've got to tell you he's 1 minute and 4, just over 1 minute and 4 seconds down on Kopecky at the moment. Breen, I know you want to know this, trails Kopecky by 16.4 seconds, with Mura under 20 seconds down. In fact, he's only 0.3, the gap between Mura and Megalesh for that podium spot. They're both at 19 and 19.3 seconds. In fact, here we are. Congratulations to the graphics department on site. It's tough conditions, I know, and Kopecky has he's in there. Whether he's nailed into that position is anybody's guess. Kubica not even on the board at the moment, not the first board anyway. There he is, 1 minute and 4. Goodness me, he had a 4.9 second advantage coming into this stage. We've loved this first run through. Don't forget, we will be back with more live later. Horrible weather, but a beautiful place to do a little bit of rallying, unless you happen to be Robert Kubica, of course, who's getting found out here. Goodness gracious. Stage 12, second run through Cidades, 1700 local time, so chop a couple of hours off, 1 hour off that for British time, so that will be what, 1600. Is my maths correct?
Not too sure. I'm just thinking it's going to be a lot more interesting when we come back later on.
Cannot wait for your company for that. It's going to be fascinating. In fact, I'm just getting a double check on that for you. So 1830, 1900 Central European time, 6 o'clock in the United Kingdom. Cidades. There we are, finally got it. We look forward to your company live once more.